Welcome to the class. In this video, I'm going to discuss the strategic use of color in UX design, behavioral design, and digital communications in general. I'd like to start off by discussing a figure who might not be intuitive for a class like this, but is my favorite samurai warrior, Miyamoto Musashi. He wrote a book at the end of his life called The Book of Five Rings, and it's one of the only books on strategy that I read twice in a row back to back. I read it in my early 20s as a martial artist, but it became indispensable in behavioral science and in applying behavior change in technology and in all sorts of applications. The Book of Five Rings is an absolutely brilliant read for anyone who's interested in strategy in general or how to do anything good in general. It's a generic framework. There is one quote from Musashi that I could never forget, and I won't repeat it verbatim, but essentially it boils down to this. Every time you act, you need to be moving towards your goals. So if you're offensive, if you're defensive, if you're doing this or if you're doing that, you need to be achieving your objectives. Now, when it comes to interactive design and applying psychology in a tech or interactive communications context, what that means is that every time we act, everything we do, every communication needs to achieve as many strategic goals at the same time. Think of it like this. The behavioral science samurai sword is one where in one shot you need to be driving towards all your objectives at once. There are several goals that we can focus on whenever we implement anything in interactive tech. However, I've listed a number that tend to be very important for a combination of user experience design and applied behavioral science. At the top, we have healthy lights. We're going to go through how light can be used to foster health, or more specifically, to prevent causing diseases in users, which you will soon understand. Next, we're going to look at accessible interfaces. Any interface that you make has to be accessible to people who are visually impaired and don't have equal opportunity. Number 3, noticing priorities. It's hard to design a user interface for people when they don't notice the user interface. It's hard to nudge people when they don't notice your nudges. So we'll spend a lot of time looking at how we make our products more intuitive, but also more persuasive. Number 4, instant comprehension. Color is a very important factor in communicating the meaning of things to people. I'll go through a number of meaning conveyance visual design strategies, but we'll also be looking specifically at how we combine them with color strategies. Number 5, motivating emotion. So this is a subject that most people will be interested in. There's actually quite a lot on emotion and color, so we'll actually be spending 3 full modules just on this subject alone. 6, transparent decisions. Part of using interactive design and behavioral science together is designing products that make people fully consciously aware of situations, or sometimes pull back so that you're able to communicate with people at a more unconscious level. And we'll look at how we calibrate between those two using color as one of our many levers that we can put into application. 7, effortless behavior. When you design a product, people should not feel like there is any effort required to use it, unless, of course, you're designing to slow them down, in which case you should crank it up. All depends on what your application and objective is. So we'll look at how we use color to make things feel much more effortless, feel much more intuitive. Finally, number 8, we could have actually started off with number 8, but number 8 is about trustworthy branding. And I'm going to go through the psychology of branding. My doctoral research was all on how humans form relationships with technology, and I'll get into how this ties over into branding strategies. And I won't go into too much detail on the neuroscience behind it, but we'll get a lot more into hands-on applications. Obviously, it's going to be harder to hit multiple at once. It's something that we aim to do. You won't hit all of them all of the time, but you should always be on the lookout for strategies and ideas that help you achieve more for less. The difference between a rookie with very little experience and someone who's an old seasoned professional is that the seasoned professionals typically hit multiple strategies simultaneously. These are an ambitious set of goals, and the entire class is structured around making it clear how each of them work. So ideally, by the end of this, it will help you get at least a couple of notches closer to that ideal. If you found this video helpful, I'd appreciate a thumbs up. It really helps with my free teaching. If you're new here, this video is part of my Color Psychology series, which you'll find in my playlist. And hit subscribe for my latest updates on using psychology in digital products. See you in the next one.